Hello, and welcome back to Podcast and Chill. I'm Leo.
And I'm Gwen. It's great to see you all again.
Gwen, have you ever thought challenges that many people face when they learn English?
That's an interesting question, Leo. It's indeed something to think about. So, are we discussing how to think and speak in Englishes today, right?
Exactly, Gwen. Let's dive into today's fascinating topic on how to think and speak in English. Let's talk about common problems English learners face and sharing some simple tips to help you get better.
We can start by discussing the first problem many learners have, understanding English, but feeling nervous or unsure about speaking it.
Yeah, it's like when you know what you want to say, but the words just won't come out. To overcome this, it's important to practice speaking English regularly, even if it's just by yourself.
Do you think they have any challenges?
I think another challenge some learners face is responding slowly in conversations. They might understand what's being said, but it takes them longer to reply.
That's true, Leo. For example, if someone asks them a question, they might need a few moments to think before they can answer.
Why is that?
Well, learning a language is like build a new road in your brain. When you hear a question, your brain is working to find that road, and it takes a bit of time.
So, it's like the brain is taking a short break to make things out?
Exactly, Leo.
And we cannot forget about the way people translate everything into one's mother tongue.
Right. Relying too heavily on translation can slow down your progress in English.
For example, when they hear anything, they will translate into their mother language to understand, so it takes them more time to respond to other people. And knowing the challenges helps learners get better at English. So, it's like having a map for learning.
Exactly, Leo.
Let's look at some education-related words. 1. Conversation, meaning talk between two or more people. Example, she doesn't know how to start a conversation. 2. Overcome, meaning succeed in dealing with something. Example, finally, she can overcome feeling nervous when she speaks English. 3. Translation, meaning the process of translating something from one language to another. Example, she will have an English translation version of this book. 4. Mother tongue, meaning the first language that you learn when you are a baby. Example, Portuguese is my mother tongue. 5. Respond, meaning to say or do something as a reaction to something. Example, she responds quickly his question. Why many people respond slowly when they speak English? When learning a new language, the brain needs a moment to find the right words. Learning English is a long process, but you can improve by using them in everyday conversation. Is it important to know what problem you have when learning English? Knowing the challenges in learning English is important. It's like having a guide for the journey. It shows them the way, and with practice, they get better. So can you give our learners some tips to improve their speaking skill, Gwen? For example, how can someone overcome this feeling of shyness?
Yes, in my opinion, if you're feeling shy about speaking English, try speaking slowly and calmly. This can help you feel more confident and make it easier to express yourself. Another helpful tip is to practice speaking English regularly, even if it's just by yourself. Describe things around you or talk about your day out loud.
Do you suggest anything that learners can do to learn English when they relax?
Yes, of course, they can try to learn English as much as possible. Watch English movies or TV shows, listen to English music, or read books in English. For instance, when I learned English before, I watch How I Met My Mother many times. Try repeating what you hear to improve pronunciation and understanding.
And one thing that they have to remember is to practice making sentences every day. Start with simple sentences and gradually make them longer and more complex.
By following these tips, you'll become more confident in your English speaking and make your learning more interesting.
To our dear listener, One way to improve is to practice speaking English regularly, even if it's just by yourself.
Let's look at some education-related words. 1. Confident, meaning being certain of your abilities. Example, let's be a bit more confident in yourself. 2. Complex, meaning many different parts. Example, she can make a lot of complex sentences. 3. Express, meaning to show a feeling, opinion. Example, I would like to express my thanks for your kindness. 4. Describe, meaning to say or write what someone or something is like. Example, she describes the city she likes for everyone. 5. Regularly, meaning often. Example, she regularly practiced speaking English.
And that brings us to the end of today's podcast episode. Thank you all for joining us today. Remember, the key to a fulfilling life is balancing love and career. Don't forget to check the free PDF in the description for more useful vocabulary.
Goodbye, and we look forward to seeing you in the next episodes.